Okay, what we're going to be tying here is Eric Smooth Criminal. It is tied on a Dairiki number 810 size 4. This is basically a traditional smaller bass hook. The back piece that we're going to be tying has got Magnum white rabbit strips. And as you can see, I got two vices set up in front of me. What you do first is you usually cut your Magnum rabbit strips to about 1.5 inches. And you're going to take the piece that's going to be facing out the back of the rabbit strip. You're going to take it and put it in one vise. The reason that I do this is it just makes it easier to puncture a hole through it with the hook. You're going to take your hook and about 1/4 inch down inside the rabbit strip, you're going to puncture it through one side. You're going to transfer it over to your other vise. Then you take a 20-pound backing, thread it through your hook eye, and put it in the other vise to hold it. You just take out any slack to get it straight. You're going to take another piece of rabbit that cuts the same length, and you are going to glue it on top of the other one, over the top of the hook shank and part of the backing. The glue that I'm using is called Bish's Tear Mender. You don't want to squeeze this too hard. You just kind of want it to fall out. You're going to place the other rabbit strip right on top and just place it there. Get it lined up. Then, keeping your hands out of the glue, you just start pinching it. And once you get it to where you think the glue is not going to squirt out on each side, you just pinch down harder. If you do get glue on your hands, you just pull them out, and the glue will just come right off your hands. If it gets in the hair, don't try to take it out, just wait till the fly's done and it'll come out easier that way once it dries. And that's the back part. Okay, now that you've had a chance to let that tear mender dry on the back part of that fly, you are going to use the same hook, which is the Dairiki 710, or excuse me, Dairiki 810 size 4. You're going to be using white thread. You're going to start at the front, and you're going to go just before the hook bend, excuse me, just before the hook point on the fly. Then you're going to tie in the rabbit from the back. When you tie this in, you don't want to tie the rabbit strip directly up tight. You don't want it like this. It restricts its movement. You want to give it just a little room, probably like 1/8 inch, so that it can move freely. So it has it moving around. And you're going to wrap forward, pretty close to the hook eye, and then come back towards the middle. Make sure you go right back over, covering everything up. Get it securely attached, and you're going to tie it off. Cut the thread, and you're going to apply some Zap-A-Gap. I like to use the brush version of this. Then you'll usually hang this up to dry as well. Now that the super glue has had a chance to dry, you're going to reattach your thread, which by the way is 210 denier. I'm using whatever color to match the fly. The first thing that you're going to attach is 2 sets of rubber legs on each side. When you tie these in, you want to separate them a little bit. When you separate them, you want to pull. That way they stay about the same length. You just pull right back over the top. Tie them in. Next you're going to grab a piece of marabou. I tie my marabou in by the butts. Gives her a stronger tie-in point, less breakage. If you do it by the tips, however you're used to doing it, is just fine. You start to pommel her forward, pulling out the marabou. You want to keep palmering this until the piece that I'm holding here is just as long as the longest piece towards the back. Make one wrap behind, and bring all the marabou back. You're going to grab 4 pieces of Crystal Flash. And you're going to tie it into about 3/4 of the way to the end of the fly, or the tail of the fly. And you grab a white schlappen. tie it in and bring your bobbin forward. You go back over the top of that schlappen. Whip finish it. Then you're going to add super glue. Slide your fish skull right around. Attach your thread right in front of it. And tie it off again. Apply your head cement. Now for the eyes for this, I actually prefer to use adhesive eyes instead of the eyes that they come with. I use the 3/16 inch just because they're a little bit bigger than the standard eyes that the fish skulls come with. And you have to actually super glue the eyes with the fish skulls, and sometimes it makes your head all white. So you use the adhesive eyes. They stand out a little bit more and they actually cover the entire eye. And this particular fish skull that I'm using is medium sized. It's a silver bait fish. Once you have it on there like that, in order to make sure that that adhesive eye does not come off, use a hardest hull. Looks like this. And you coat the entire head. And what that does is it seals in the eye, and it also gives the head a glossier look. And if you do super glue in this eye instead of using the adhesive eyes, instead of spending more money, you can use this hardest hull and it'll actually clean up the white residue that's left behind from the super glue. Then you allow that to dry. Okay, once you've allowed that to dry, you're going to take a pair of wire cutters, side cutters, and you are going to go to the front hook and go just above where you tied in your rubber legs, and you're going to cut the hook off there. So you're going way past the bend. And once you do that, you have the finished fly, and it should move quite a bit.